I'm Josephine Cameron. I'm the author of Maybe a Mermaid and a Dog-Friendly Town, and my newest novel, Not All Heroes, is about Zinnia. She's a 6th grader. She's dealing with some grief. Her brother Wally passed away about a year ago, and she and her parents have moved to Maine, but she hasn't quite found her place there. She hasn't found friends. Her family's all still back in Wisconsin, and when her Aunt Willow, who is in college, comes to visit, the two of them get involved with a team of real-life superheroes. These are people just like you and me, regular people who put on superhero costumes and go out and try to change the world. I'm going to read you the very first chapter to give you a little bit of a sneak peek. 1 Ocean Avenue. The apartment upstairs goes vacant every few months. Someone gets a new job across town, finds a better place, or gets kicked out. Every time it happens, my parents ask me if we should take it. We'd have a better view, Mom says. I bet you could see all the way to Wing Island from the 2nd floor. We'd have a 2nd bathroom, Dad says. That might be nice. Nice? It would be heaven. Every morning, Dad gets shaving cream all over the sink. He never notices it, not even when I scrape Clean Me into the scum with my fingernail. And if I leave my toothbrush anywhere in sight, Mom will accidentally use it. Every single time. Though I've never had a bathroom of my own, I know exactly what it would feel like. It wouldn't feel nice. It would feel like freedom. But even after we all agree that the 2nd floor apartment is the way to go, no one ever calls the landlord. Instead, we sit in the rocking chairs on the rickety 1st floor porch of the 2-story house and hash out all the downsides and what-ifs. We'd have to box everything up again and carry it upstairs. We'd have to rearrange furniture. And what if it didn't pan out? What if the kitchen was too small or we didn't like the color? What if the view wasn't that great and you couldn't see Wing Island after all? Which always leads to the same conclusion. We'd already moved halfway across the country. Wasn't that enough? One fresh start was plenty for any family, especially ours. We were having this exact conversation the day Chris and Ekta Anund first pulled up their tiny car to the curb of 1 Ocean Avenue. Ekta had to duck her head and inch her way out of the driver's seat. It was like a magic trick, watching her long brown limbs unfold out of that jelly bean car. When she finally stood up to her full height, she stretched, shaded the sun from her eyes, and squinted toward the porch. Almost in unison, all 3 of our chairs stopped rocking. "Enjoying the view?" Ekta asked, nodding across the street toward Hilltop Memorial Park and the sparkling bay. Dad gave an awkward half-smile, but kept his ocean blue eyes fixed on the water. Mom wiggled her fingers in the air, then bent down to tie her shoe, her hair conveniently falling forward to hide her face. I squirmed. They could have at least said hello. Chris waved a hand at us from the back seat of the car, and it's hard to remember what I thought of him then. Probably not much beyond bathroom stealer. Maybe I would have waved back if their friends hadn't shown up to help them unpack. A minivan arrived first, with a mom, daughter, dad, and son laughing and smiling as they got out of the car. It was impossible to look at that family of 4 and not think about the person missing from ours. So instead of waving at Chris or shouting, "Welcome to the neighborhood," I concentrated on picking at the peeling paint on the half-rotted handrail of the porch and waited to see what my parents would do. I might have gotten up and introduced myself when the driver of the minivan, a teenager with giant red glasses, light brown skin, and black-brown curls, waved at me too. Her smile was so big that the sunlight glinted off her braces, like the twinkle of a star or a flash of lightning, or maybe that's just how I'm remembering it now. But that was when the girl's mom hopped out of the passenger seat, blonde curls bouncing, and started talking a mile a minute about what a great driver her daughter had become and wasn't this the perfect place and couldn't you just eat up that view? Mom and Dad exchanged a look. Dad stretched, stood up, and turned toward our door. "I guess that settles that," he said, all nonchalant, like he'd barely noticed that more people were arriving. A pickup truck piled high with furniture practically drove right up onto the front lawn. Back in Wisconsin, we were the kind of family who would walk down to the cars, ask if we could help, and offer to carry some boxes. We'd make the Anunds feel welcome, lighten their load, but things were different now. I stood up too. Mom pushed her hair behind the pink tips of her ears, and we followed Dad inside. It wasn't anything against Ekta or Chris, or the friends who'd come to help them move. We weren't trying to be rude. It's just that new people always ask questions that make Mom squirm and Dad pull at his chin until his face slowly morphs from white to flaming red. It starts out easy breezy enough. Where are you from and what brought you to Maine? Eventually, though, no matter how hard they try to avoid it, conversation always turns to Wally. Smiles disappear, eyes get droopy, and the frowns turn in my direction. How's she holding up? And does she miss him? Like I'm not standing right there. Of course I miss my brother, but it's not like what people think. Not like what you see in the movies, all dramatic with some tearful goodbye that I'm always replaying in my mind. It was a regular Sunday. We went to church, had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for lunch. It was the last day in September, but we went down to the lake anyway and made a cold sand castle, sat in the canoe, went on one of Wally's adventures. Except we didn't actually go anywhere because he was 7 and I was 10 and the canoe was tied to the dock. That night, Mom and Wally went to the hospital like they'd done dozens of times, only this time Wally didn't come home. Of course it's sad. My universe is completely different now that I don't have a little brother constantly asking me to write down stories. But sad doesn't change what happened. Like Dad says, sometimes there's nothing you can do but move on. We'd thought moving to Maine would make it easier. We'd thought it would be a fresh start, away from all the looks and whispers, but it turns out that new people aren't much different from the ones you've known all your life. To new people, it's still a big deal, a big, hairy deal, and they can't move on, so it's better to go inside. What I didn't realize when I followed Mom and Dad through the front door is that even the smallest action, or inaction, has an effect. It can change the direction of someone else's story, or spark a new chapter of your own. I got the idea for Not All Heroes when I learned about real-life superheroes. This is a movement all around the world, people who dress up in superhero costumes and go out and try to make a difference. I found it really interesting that there were so many different ways of doing this. Some people wanted to go out and fight crime. Some people wanted to improve the lives of people experiencing homelessness on a day-to-day basis, and everything in between. I thought it would be really interesting and fun to write a book about a girl who joins a real-life superhero team and sort of explore what that means. And what is it really to be a hero? And can we be heroes? And should we be heroes? And all the things. But especially, what does it mean for someone like Zinnia, who's feeling really lonely? What does it mean to join a team? What does it mean to make a difference? And I had a lot of fun writing her story. I hope you enjoy it.